Welcome back. I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Highland Lakes with Daniel Clifton. He covers Canyon Lake football for TexasChalkTalk.com. And as always, you can find all of these stories on TexasChalkTalk.com. Daniel, today was a big writing day for me, even though I didn't post a lot of stories on the website. And that's because I try to write my football previews for Thursday because Thursday is football Thursday for me. And I did get a chance to kind of go through some of the stuff with Taylor and Marble Falls. What is interesting to me, and I'm really curious about this. When I pulled up the Taylor stats, they have two quarterbacks listed. But when I've watched a little bit of the film, the quarterback that I thought everybody was talking about is
Yeah.
not the quarterback who I think Herman was talking about. Now, Herman had to, Coach Herman, the head coach at Marble Falls, normally he meets with me on Tuesday mornings, but he had some conflicts in his schedule. So we talked Thursday or Tuesday night rather after the Marble Falls Burn It volleyball match, and he didn't have a roster in front of him. The reason I say all of that to you is because he made an interesting comparison. He said that the quarterback for Taylor, and he said he's very impressed by him. That's a direct quote. He said the quarterback for Taylor reminds him a lot of Eddie Marburger. You remember Eddie Marburger? And I know it's three names. It's Eddie something Marburger, but Marburger was the Sherryland Pioneer Mission quarterback for the area round playoff game in 2020. The kid that
Yeah.
did the hard count twice and got Marble Falls to jump off sides and got the cheap five to extend the drives, and that's how they ended up beating Marble Falls because Marble needed that extra turnover or that they needed another possession. And I think if Marble Falls had gotten the possession, they probably win that game, right? So anyway, the reason I bring all that up is because Marburger now is still with UTSA playing for Jeff Traylor as one of the backup quarterbacks there. But Coach Herman compared the quarterback for Taylor to this to Marburger, and this kid, the one that I think he was talking about is a kid named Nicholas Truter, Treuter, and he is not a kid because I can't tell if he started all year or not because he doesn't have the wow stats that everybody else has been talking about. But the reason that I think this is the kid that Herman was referring to is because in one of the films that I saw, this kid was named the player of the game by the Taylor coaching staff. And I believe it was the last game, the one, because let me see, they lost. Did they lose to Davenport last week or Lampasas? They had to have lost to Lampasas because
As land passes
Davenport
last
played y'all.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but his stats, because they run the zone read, they go with a single back or a zero back system.
Hmm.
So if they're going to go with the zero back system, then they have, because they always line up the quarterback in the shotgun, the running back moves away, and then there's no backs there. So everybody then it's an empty backfield. That means they're going to run, or that means they're going to pass rather, or they're going to spread to run. And this kid is incredibly accurate in throwing the football. That's the thing that has really stood out to Coach Herman. Um, Everything else, obviously, the things that everybody knows about, because Taylor is in the non-football district. They've got great athleticism. The Ducks are just incredibly athletic. Lots and lots of speed all over the field. I do think Marble Falls will probably continue to drop back several in the secondary and see if they can run the football and keep everything in front of them. Because for 22 minutes, it worked well for Marble Falls. It gave the fans some hope. Uh,
Yeah.
where Marble Falls really needs to concentrate, they they've got to put together some drives that are multi-play drives. chew that clock, let your defense catch its breath, don't get behind the chains. You know, Coach Dodge used to say you got to worry about the things you can control. You can control your false starts. You can control that. You can control your motion penalties. And that's really where I would love to see what Marble Falls can do without those things that put them behind the chains. That's really my question and where they are. Anyway, um, we said a quick one. Is there anything else you want to say or mention? Because I know that you've got other things you've got to do as you're trying to finish up your week and get ready for Friday.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to watch. I'll be at the game Friday night with Burn and Cannon Lake, but I also want to try to figure out how I can pay attention to that Lampasas Davenport game. Part of me wants to see how that goes and what that's like, and that should be an exciting game. And I think you're right.
Yes.
The one who comes out of that victorious has a pretty clean shot at the district title. Because I think after that, Davenport has y'all. When does Davenport? Y'all get Davenport?
Week 11. We get
Burn it.
Davenport week 11. And
Burn it has
Davenport,
Davenport too, don't they?
yes, they are at Davenport next week. So
Oh, wow.
at Canyon Lake with y'all this week, at Davenport the following week, and then back at home against Taylor in week 11. And I will say this. This is not like Crystal Shipley and the Lady Dogs last night, okay? Real quick. Barnett walked into the max needing to beat Marble Falls just to stay one match behind Georgetown Gateway. And I said to Coach Shipley, you couldn't win a district championship tonight, but you could have certainly lost one. Because had Marble Falls won last night, that would have put Burnett 2 matches back with 2 matches left to play in the regular season, I believe. But Gateway already beat them in the first round. For Burnett to have a shot at a share, just a share of the district championship, they've got to go undefeated in the second round. So that the big match for volleyball is actually at the doghouse when Gateway visits Burnett at 4:30 on Friday. Okay. I don't know, and nor do I think right now that that's where we are at. Because had the Lady Dogs lost that last night, they would have lost the district championship. The scenario that I see here is very, very simple for Burnett. Coach Wood will never tell his kids, nor do his kids ever want to believe that they don't have to win at Canyon Lake to get in the playoffs, because obviously District 14 is a beast.
Yeah.
That's the Bernie, that Bernie Fredericksburg district. But at the same time, if Burnett loses to Davenport and Canyon Lake, that's no skin off their nose, because I think Davenport and Canyon Lake will beat Taylor. They have to go all in week 11 against Taylor. All in.
Yeah.
All in. And by the same token, Taylor cannot afford to lose to Marble Falls because Burnett has already beaten Marble Falls. So if Marble Falls beats Taylor, that gives the Mustangs a chance at the playoffs. But if they don't beat Taylor, I don't, if they don't beat Taylor, I'm not sure where, because I think that the fourth place team will only have 2 wins in the district. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where it'll be it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will tell you, 2 weeks ago, I didn't think that. I really thought there was more parity in this district. And what I am seeing now is that there is clearly 2 teams that might be a notch above everybody else, maybe 3, because I've not seen Lampasas yet. I'm very curious to see Lampasas. Very, very curious. Because right now, do you have an idea of a district MVP? I haven't seen one yet. I don't know.
No, not really. I don't know what they'll do with that one. Because yeah, I think that's a good question. If there's really nobody that's really just floating to the top real quick right now.
Yeah, and that's where Elijah Johnson, he was.
Yeah.
because everybody I had talked to had told me privately, because my vote was for Grant Jones, but everybody I had talked to privately had told me that that kid number 5 at Canyon Lake, that's the district MVP. Canyon Lake runs the table; they go undefeated. That's who's going to get it. And he was just a notch above everybody else in the district. Nobody had a version of him
Yeah,
in
that
district
kid,
last year.
he could move mountains with his legs, and he
Yeah,
did a few times getting through some line things.
yeah, yeah.
He
And
run
he
over
was a
the
really good
lineman a couple
linebacker.
times to get him, push him over the way. Get out of my way, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm very curious to see, because I cannot say with certainty that I have watched and witnessed the best player in the district yet.
Yeah.
I think Jamie Castillo is among the great athletes in the district. He may get a nod at all district, but if Marble Falls doesn't get a win, I don't know that he'll get one of the accolades. And
Yeah.
that's just the sad reality of where we are. And that is unfortunate, because I think that I don't know that he will get the recognition. I know Marble Falls sees that, but outside of South Burnett County, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate. He's done everything and more for these Mustangs this season and last season too. Okay, we will do this again next week. Do you have anything else before I let you go?
One more thing. What happened today? What started today? What was the first day today?
The first day
Tell
of
me.
today is girls basketball
There you
after school.
go.
It is my Christmas. You didn't think I was gonna fall for that, did
I wasn't sure
you?
because you had not mentioned it at all. I thought for sure that would be our topic of conversation today. I was getting notes ready, and then we went to talk to football. It's like Jennifer.
Yeah, but for the first time in the history of Marble Falls High School basketball, and if somebody out there knows any better, Billy Becker, if you know where to find me if I'm wrong. I have been told that this is the first time in Marble Falls High School basketball history that both the boys and the girls basketball teams will begin a season as defending district champions. Let that set in for you.
Ooh,
You think about
wow.
that, because even the great Carter Tynes teams won district, but Conley was in the district with the girls, and I think Conley had Marble Falls' number in the early 2000s. Because I had to think
Yeah,
about
because
that too.
that was right. Flew to McConnell. Every time we went, oh yeah. Coach Betcher just couldn't get around them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think,
yeah,
yeah. I'm not somebody else that better know about that than me. I have Billy Becker, you need to find him.
yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you who told me that. That was the Berkmans, and
They
I don't know that I think that they're better experts on Marble
yeah,
Falls basketball than that family.
they would
Anyway,
know
I
for sure.
thought it was
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, yeah. After school practice, yeah, that started today. I was super excited. Enjoy the games, everybody. Daniel and I will be, I promise, on the gridiron on Friday night. We'll see you then. Catch you next week. For Daniel Clifton, I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster here in the Kylan Lakes. Enjoy the games, everybody.